Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. I think you're on mute.
Workday's starting to sound the same.
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to High School Hoops with your hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 113. Today we're going to talk about my favorite zone. At least it used to be, the 131. Before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the great people up in Minneapolis. Go support them. I know they ran out of their like non-electronic version of the returner, but they have them. They'll finance. They'll help you. Mention Coach Unplugged or High School Hoops, and they'll give you $350 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I know I get an email a day about how people love this podcast. If you love this podcast, then come join teachhoops.com because it helps to keep the lights on. I'm just going to be honest.
It's such an awesome experience. I've been able to lately to be able to have some conference calls with other coaches, and it's just been great to be able to get
I know.
back.
I passed them off to you when I was on vacation.
But honestly, I love it. I'll be honest with you. And one of the persons I'm working with is a very into new coach. You know, he just needs some of the basic stuff, and it's been awesome. Like, I literally go out of my way every time he'll email me. He's like, "Hey, can we get together and talk?" I'm like, "For sure."
Right.
And that's the greatest thing about Teach Hoops is that it's such an interactive piece. And as somebody who,
and it's not a knock against the other guys that are out there, but the other guys that are out there are like college coaches or running multi-million-dollar companies or all this kind of stuff. This is a small little shot, baby. This is
right. And I had this conversation with one of my soccer coaches that work under me. I said, "You constantly be texting me about practice planning and stuff. That's what I want to deal with every day as a director or as people that are part of Teach Hoops. Right. We want to help you. We want to have that dialogue. That's why we're here.
Right.
And that's our favorite part of it. The
resources are great. The resources and all the stuff we have is great. Yes. But that's not what separates us, I don't think.
No.
There's other resources. You can YouTube. You can
go find that anywhere you want.
Right. But what makes it different is the ability to get answers. Like I was telling you before, I got off a phone call 15, 20 minutes ago before we started and was talking to a coach and helping him through the stuff. That's what I like because that's fun. And it's I can see the reaction and the help that I'm giving. And the other ones that are like, I don't know.
I also think that it's like almost like it fits you what you need. So right. For example, you might see something that you really like, but it not necessarily fit the age group that you're coaching. But somebody like me or yourself have been coaching for a long period of time. We can be able to take something that you like and mold it into something that you could use at your level. So, For example, I was meeting with a coach last week. He really wanted to use the ball screen, but he didn't know how to implement it with his younger team, and we worked together. So, you get these ideas in your head because there's so much out there. It's about taking that information and putting it together that makes sense.
I say it's getting rid of the noise.
It's right for you.
It's getting rid of the noise. Teach Hoops gets rid of the noise. And it's again, a lot of great sites out there, but most of them are run by guys that haven't experienced what I've experienced, haven't been in the battles. They're college coaches. They're like, they don't live in like, John just broke up with his girlfriend and now we got to figure out how we find our shooting guard.
Right, or you're dealing with a bunch of angry parents and COVID
right,
and everything
right.
else.
Yeah, they're not dealing with that.
They can literally say, you know what, if you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Right.
We don't have that choice.
No. All right, so we're talking about the 1-3-1 today. Enough about teach hoops. I'm going to cut that out though. I like that. That really did summarize it. Advantages. I love the 1-3-1.
I will say
you want me to go first or you want to go first?
I will just say out of all the zones that I've ever used, I've only used the 1-3-1 one season because I had a team that was very aggressive, that could create turnovers, and I was willing to make, what do I want to say, a little bit of gambles with them. Other than that, I've never had a team that I've ever felt comfortable and knowledgeable for a 1-3-1. So I think this is definitely going to be your show today.
Okay,
so I'll ask questions and let you.
So I think it causes the other team to adjust more. Now, not that there aren't openings on it, but I think it causes the other team to adjust. So that's one of the advantages. I think it's definitely more than any of them speeds up tempo.
Yep.
Because it spreads things out a lot. It causes a lot of confusion and a lot of I don't know where to go. As far as spreading the court out, I like how easily it is to trap, especially in places like the corners where people can really kill you. There's just like all the other zones, there's lots of adjustments. The disadvantages, and I've had teams, I wish I could have run it the last couple of years, but we weren't long enough. You really have to have long play. You got to have at least 3 of your 5 be relatively long players, which I mean either athletic or have long arms.
I wrote down here body types are essential for this type of zone.
They are because they can take lanes away and you can neutralize the non-length by athleticism. And you can hide maybe one tiny person or one tinier player on the baseline. But I think it's so good from that. But size matters a lot with this. It really does. It takes some time to learn. And there's lots of variations with it, which is again probably an advantage in the sense that you can trap high, you can trap low, you can gap it where they try to have to throw those like rainbow passes, which are good. Teams can get easy baskets off this. I think it's more susceptible to the drive, and because that's where you have to really spend more time on taking the gaps away. Like a 2-3 and a 3-2 are more compact. Now you can run the 1-3-1 compact, but when you extend it, all of a sudden there's lanes and stuff, and I think that's really a disadvantage in the sense that if people can get into those gaps, that and rebounding are probably the 2 biggest, if I had to pick 2 disadvantages to it, in the sense that you're, again, spread out. So going and finding bodies to box out can be a little bit more difficult.
Do you think it's difficult to teach? I have a couple.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I've got some stuff on Teach Hoops on it, but I really don't think it is. And again, it depends on how much of a variation you're going to do. If you only trap in the corner, don't trap high. It's a little bit more conservative. You can do ones where you trap and don't trap. Again, it's like anything. It's going to take some time. I don't necessarily think it's hard to teach. I think it's harder than maybe the other 2 in the sense that you can really not teach a 2-3 and kids can kind of run it. They're not really running.
Right, because they're in good spots on the floor.
They're in good spots. You put them initially in good spots, but then all of a sudden, if you change those spots, it can get a little hairy, I think.
One thing I thought about too is that I often think that most people attack the 1-3-1 with the 2-1-2 set most of the time, right? Do you think as a coach that has run the 1-3-1, can that be considered an advantage for you to prepare?
It can be, and the thing is, you can extend it too. Not like you can't extend the 1-2.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what you're going to get, right?
I do, and the thing is, for most teams,
yes,
the good ones don't do that. The good ones have variations. I won't spill all of those right now, but yes, there are variations to it. It may be like I think the 3-2 extends to the full court a little bit better. That you can run like a 1-2-2 back into a 3-2 relatively easily. But a 1-3-1, you can extend it. You can run it compact. You can run it to half court. You can even run it to 3/4 court. The issue is you got to kind of stunt those two of the three.
Right, but what I'm really trying to get at, Steve, is like, if I am going to be the team going against the 1-3-1,
I know what you're going to do.
I know what you're going to do. You're going to run a 2-1-2 most of the time.
For the most part, and you're going to
try
to.
That is an advantage. As somebody that has coached it, do you think that is an advantage as you, the person running the defense?
Yes.
So
I think it's a huge
advantage. All right, the rotation. What's going to happen when the ball is here? More than likely, where are the weak points?
Right. And then they're going to skip here. How are we going to close out on this one? Right. Because then they're going to try to drive. Yes, I think it's a distinct advantage from that. I'm not always sure against like a 3-2 what they're going to do, if they're going to overload a side. So yes, from those standpoints, and maybe part of it is I've run it enough that I kind of know the rotations on it.
Right.
It helped us win a state title in 2011. So it's like, it is what it is. But don't mean to quote him at that point. But anyway, I'm not quoting him. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
The one with no hair. Yes. Okay. Again, sorry. Just anyway. It's the being isolated. My jokes are just not as good as they used to be.
No.
All right. Anything else with this? Advantage, disadvantage? Those are my kickers.
After talking about zones, is there anything else like in zone area that you've ever done, or maybe
I think we at some point we could do a combo one where we talk about some of the specials. Like,
because I remember us talking combos when I first started, just to teach shoot members some ideas that I thought was really
and I think we'll save that for a different episode. We'll tease.
Okay, so there is more besides these three for sure.
Yes, we'll talk about the combo ones later at a different date. You don't have a last minute, what do we call it? Like
full timeout. You've been asked.
Full timeout. You got a full timeout?
Full timeout.
How many out of bounds plays do you normally run?
Baseline or sideline?
Baseline.
Baseline.
How many let me reword the question. How many should a high school coach have in his repertoire in the middle of December?
Well, I think they should have different sets of them.
How many?
Maybe 6 to 8.
Whoa! See, I was gonna say like 4 maybe in December.
Oh, December?
Yeah, in December.
4.
Yeah, by the end of the season, I'm gonna have 6 or 8, and I'm gonna have 2 you haven't seen on tape anywhere.
I'm sorry. So you mean by like just beginning of the year?
Like a month into the season for the other coaches.
Are you also? And I remember you saying this. Are you a person that consists of the same form? So if you're gonna,
I do like that. I've moved toward like if we're gonna do a box set, everything's out of the box set.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hate the box. I'm not a box set.
I'm not a box set either. I just grabbed it, but I'm changing my thoughts on that in the sense that I think it might be easier for their brains if everything is different. Like we have, what I'm saying?
Don't you think it's easier to scout?
Maybe, but then we can do some variations on that. All right, we just came up with another podcast. There we go.
But here's my other thought too, is that if you have different formations, do you keep them simple and then you have different reads off that formation?
You do.
I had a conversation with somebody about that play that you've done on your DVD that you did a long time ago, the triple curl cut. It's so stupidly simple, but there's so many crazy reads.
Curl. Oh, I'm not going to curl back, layup.
So is it, so can you have a couple formations that are really simple with multiple reads on it? Because I give that play out to middle school coaches all the time. I said, you're going to only need 2 to 3 plays because this play, you're going to be able to
curl. Yeah. It's like 3 guys across, curl. And it's like, but the thing is you'll curl, not curl.
Yep.
Curl, not curl. Like, swear to God, if they're in man, it's going to be wide open. It's crazy. All the time. All right. Till next week, Coach.
Sounds good.
All right. That was great.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to support us, you want to help us keep the lights on here at teachhoops.com, go over, join, 14-day free trial, and then stop the car, subscribe, like, Apple 5-star review. That would be good. All right. Maybe. Have a good day. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.